The Xiaomi Mi AirDots Pro have been Xiaomi's follow-up to the really popular Mi AirDots, and it's Xiaomi's first kind of premium true wireless headphone offering. But how does it compare to my current favorite pair of truly wireless headphones, being the QCY T1 Pro? We're covering that in today's video. Hi, my name is Mitchell. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about the tech I use. Before we get into this head-to-head comparison, I want to thank everyone that uses my affiliate links. Without your support, I couldn't buy products like this. Also, shout out to my Telegram community. If you're not in there already, it's where people share advice, tips, tricks, all kinds of information about Xiaomi products and Android in general. Okay, enough talking. Let's hop into this video. Now, throughout this comparison, I am going to be covering two aspects, being the design and then the performance of the product. So when I talk about the case, which is going to be the first thing, we're going to talk about the design of the case, how it's built, and then how the case actually performs. On the subject of that, when we talk about the case of these two devices, the Mi AirDots Pro have a much more kind of premium fit and finish. The top opens and closes with a more reassuring sound, and there is a USB Type-C port. Now, in my opinion, USB-C, all things. That's not to say that the case on the QCY T1 Pro is a bad case. It's just that it doesn't have that refined feeling of Mi AirDots Pro. The Mi AirDots Pro case is all matte plastic with one button on the side, whereas the QCY T1 Pro case has a metal outer shell and slides open. Now, the sliding mechanism of the T1 Pro isn't quite as smooth and seamless feeling as the Xiaomi case. So in the design department of this, I have to give that to the Xiaomi Mi AirDots. Now, on the actual performance of it, the case of the T1 Pro holds a lot more battery life for the actual headphones than the Xiaomi case. Also, the QCY has a much better battery indicator on the back. It is micro USB, but it does give you the battery percentage in 25% increments, whereas with these, you kind of have to hit the button, see if the light's pressing, and then guess. So ultimately, the design and feel of the Xiaomi case is better, but the actual performance of the two is essentially a tie. Next up, I want to talk about the actual earpods themselves, or the AirPods, or the actual part that goes in your ear. Now, the QCY T1 Pro is significantly smaller than the AirDots, and they do a great job of staying in your ear with this included ear fin. That said, because the AirDots Pro have this little stem that extends down, their microphone is a lot better, and we're going to get to the microphone quality in a second. But if we're just talking about the overall design, I have to kind of give this a tie. If you want smaller headphones with ultimately better, more discreet and stay in your ears better, go with the QCY. I would say it's a better pair of headphones for working out. If you want something that's more versatile, has better call quality, you're going to need to go with the Xiaomi AirDots Pro. Unfortunately, because of the design of the AirDots Pro, they don't fit fully in my ears. And because of that, I get a ton of extra background noise, even though these feature active noise cancellation. Now, aesthetically, when we talk about the design, it's really a personal preference thing. I don't care about how stupid or goofy I look with these in my ears, because these give me a little bit more of a tactile surface to hold on to when I take them in and out of my ears. Trying to take the QCY headphones in and out of your ears can sometimes be a little bit more difficult because you don't have that stem. Is it a big downside? No. Is it something that kind of makes me feel like the design of these is kind of comparable because of the functionality? Yes, it is. Next up is the sound quality. Now, sound quality of the QCY is excellent. I really, really like them, and because they do have such a great and secure fit in your ear, it really does a great job of giving you passive noise cancellation just because it blocks out the outside noise. That being said, the soundstage and the actual speakers inside of the Xiaomi headphones are really, really good. I have to say that if we're just purely comparing the sound quality in a quiet listening environment, I'll take the Xiaomi headphones all day. That said, if you're walking on the street and these aren't fully seated in your ears, which they might not fully seat in your ears, you're probably going to get better sound out of the QCY. It's that simple. Next up is the functionality of these. With the Mi AirDots Pro, we have the ability to take one headphone out and use them independently. You put one headphone back in. There's no odd pairing protocol or anything like that. With the QCY, you can use them independently. You can use the right one independently, but you're going to have to pair them independently. Is this a bit of a hassle? Yes. Do I ever use one headphone isolated by itself? Not really. In that aspect of it, I gotta say that there isn't really much of a reason for me to prefer the Mi AirDots over these, because more often than not, if I'm putting music in my ears, it's because I want to block out loud noises outside and I want to isolate myself. So ultimately, I gotta say, the QCY, even though they might not sound as good as in a totally closed environment, the fact that they make a better seal, they stay in better, they isolate me from the outside world better, I gotta give the sound quality boost to these. Now, both of these headphones are Bluetooth 4.2. The QCY T1 Pros are available with Bluetooth 5.0. They're not available everywhere. On AliExpress, some vendors have the Bluetooth 5 model, some vendors don't. Some people in my Telegram community have said after I suggested these, they ordered them and they got the Bluetooth 5 version. Are we going to see a big increase in sound quality with Bluetooth 5.0? It's going to be moderate. Are we going to see a big difference in latency? It's going to be a moderate to insignificant decrease in the overall lag or latency when using these. So I can't really give a clear winner because not everyone's going to be using them on the street. My pick, personal preference, I'm going to pick the QCY T1 Pros. Better sound isolation. I don't have to turn up the volume as much. And ultimately, that's what I like when I'm going for a truly wireless pair of headphones. Now, we can't talk about the headphones and the case without talking about the actual process of charging them. And this is something that both of these headphones do extremely well. That said, the ability to flip these over and kind of shake them out into your hand is really convenient. Having to pull the QCY headphones out individually and place them in, a little bit less convenient. Is it that big of a deal? No. Am I nitpicking? Definitely. But if you're someone that likes the kind of overall convenience of just the flip, dump in your hand, put them in, these would be for you. If you are okay with kind of doing the crab pincher method of putting them in your ear, as you saw, I nearly just dropped them, then the QCY are the right headphones for you. Both of these devices will support the AAC audio codec. That said, I have had issues getting these paired to my devices utilizing the AAC audio codec. There's been tons of discussion in my Telegram group about SBC versus AAC versus aptX for sound quality. But at the end of the day, these are both truly wireless headphones. If you care ultimately about sound quality, go get yourself a pair of wired earbuds. You're not going to get any type of amazing sound quality or zero latency out of these without spending a lot more money. We've talked about the headphones. We've talked about the sound quality. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked aspects of truly wireless headphones, and that is the controls. Ultimately, we're all getting these because there's an added bit of convenience factor to them. But if I have to pull out my phone every single time to adjust the track, adjust the volume, do stuff like that, it's really not worth it. Now, unfortunately, with the AirDots Pro, you are left using only Google Voice Assistant to do that stuff. And while it does work pretty well, a fair amount of time to change the volume, to skip tracks, ultimately, there is input lag, and a lot of times it's faster for me to just pull out my phone to do that. With the QCY, we don't have that. We have double tap on the right side, fast forward, double tap on the left side to rewind, single tap each of them to play or pause, hold either one of them for Google Assistant. And the Google Assistant doesn't work as well on these because they don't have the stem. So you have to ask yourself, is it more important to have Google Assistant or is it more important to have those tactile controls? If I needed a headphone for the gym and I wanted to be able to just put my phone somewhere and control my music, these all day. If you listen to podcasts a lot like I do, these might be better for you. For me, These are totally fine for podcasts. They are totally fine. The soundstage is great. They have enough sound isolation that I can live with it. But if I'm working out, if I'm running, if I'm trying to get some cardio in, there's no comparison. Now, something else that is kind of important to consider when we're talking about the headphones, the controls and stuff like that, with the Xiaomi headphones, there's less accidental touches. And what do I mean by that? Well, with the QCY headphones, I was walking in the rain one day. I had the hood of my jacket up. It was really damp and moist. And there was an accidental play pause because the hood of my jacket was touching the headphones. Does this happen all the time? No. Am I adding this as like an extra little word of advice to you? Yes. Because this is a double tap to activate it, you're going to have less accidental touches. So if you live in a place with rain, if you wear a turban for say, these might be the better choice, even though these do stick out more. This brings us to the conclusion. Who are these headphones for? Which pair of these headphones is right for me? This is going to be long story, less long. If you want a pair of headphones to work out, if you listen to a lot of music, if you want the ability to skip back and forth between songs, these are the headphones for you. If you need a headphone for taking more phone calls, if you need the ability to use voice assistant, if you want to have a better charging experience just based on the fact that it's USB Type-C and you don't have to carry a micro USB cable, then these are the headphones for you. But one thing that I really have to touch on is that the battery life of these headphones is horrendous. I had these headphones on about 3/4 volume with active noise cancellation. I killed them in under 2 hours, about 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I was getting the notification on my phone that these needed to be recharged, and they were at 20%. So realistically, because the sound isolation isn't as good, and you're probably going to be using active noise cancellation more, your battery life on this is going to be under 2 hours. Whereas these, you're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours. Don't let active noise cancellation be a big selling point for you with these headphones. Why? The active noise cancellation on these isn't that great, and oftentimes I'm getting equal or better sound isolation with the QCY headphones. On top of that, these are now available with Bluetooth 5.0. They're more difficult to find. I'll find them for you from retailers that have guaranteed Bluetooth 5.0 models in stock. But ultimately, I gotta say that for a lot of people, this is the better choice. And I would stick with saying that this is the better choice, even if these headphones were priced similarly. Now, the MSRP on these is $60, but for most retailers, we're seeing these go all the way up to $100. I simply cannot recommend the AirDots Pro at the $100 price point that a lot of people are paying over these, especially now that we have the Bluetooth 5.0 version. I hope you guys enjoyed this comprehensive kind of long-term review on them. I know it's a little bit long. That's why you guys like these videos. Till next time, guys. It's been Mitchell coming to you from Hanoi. If you want to see more videos about Hanoi, click up here. Till then, peace.